I just like the way I like the style. It's gonna be fall. Let's go. I love fall, dude. Love fall. Love wearing the hoodies, the quarter zips. You know how many quarter zips I got? Oh my goodness gracious. Probably do. Probably have like 100. Dude, what is it, day 30?
Yep.
Day 30, that's my age. I'm 30, dude. You know, for 5.5 hours of sleep, I'm feeling real amped up. I had a cup of coffee this morning, had a little new tonic. It's freaking popping. Also, I'm high on life. I talked to somebody real late last night. It went good. I think that like kind of gets me more excited. I don't know what it is, you know what I mean? Like it's a different energy.
Yeah.
You feel that?
I feel that.
It's so funny because I was talking to somebody and I think what I'm gonna do too, and like whenever I get in my next relationship, is I am going to just start off in counseling. Like just straight up, we're gonna start going to therapy literally from the beginning of the relationship so you can think about or like talk through how you're gonna have that effective communication, because that's really what it all comes down to. I was actually talking to a friend this morning about like trigger words or like reminders or something whenever you start to get in that like place. So what happens a lot in relationships, and myself included, is you get annoyed about something, then you kind of pull away because you're annoyed, and then you feel like you can't love them in that moment. Then they come to you and then you're doing the same thing back to them that you were just upset with them for doing. Yeah. And so it's so interesting how you just gotta like get yourself out of that and remind yourself of something. And so something that we do whenever we're playing ultimate frisbee, Jimmy, Dom and I, like something that we hold each other accountable to is just saying the word love, because we're hyper competitive and sometimes you get frustrated. And so you gotta remember, what are we here for? We're here to love. That is what God put us on this universe for. And what I believe is like a really high frequency is just love. So anyway, it's a reminder that when you get in that hyper competitive state, it's not just about winning in that moment, it's about loving the person. Now you can be competitive and still love, but anyway, it's just a reminder, it's a trigger word. And something that I talked to Jimmy about is using that word not just when you're being negative and when you're like going up there and be like love, 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 but then also whenever the person encourages somebody else, say love. That way it's like you're reminding them. And so same thing in a relationship, you can use that in a relationship context where you're like, I was thinking like something that Jimmy and I talked about was just like same team. Hey, same team. Just reminding them whenever you're getting pissed off at each other, same team. And then like, or you could use it as a joking way, like, you know, whenever you do something, like let's say you're cooking together, doing that, like you're just like same team, like just using that trigger word as a reminder, and then it could be a good thing. Or you could use it even as a joke whenever you're like going to cuddle and be like same team. Like you can use that as a trigger to get you out of that negative context.
Just reminding them.
Yes, and so you just want to, yeah, you want to continue to do that anytime, and you have to figure out what's going to work for both of you guys, and it might be different words for each of you, but if you can have the same one that would actually help you guys to remember something and to like, get out of that negative state, because getting in a negative downward spiral, that's easy. Getting yourself out of it is the hard part. That's the mental gymnastics that you got to go through. But once you get through that, man, you can get through almost anything, and then you can have effective communication, have the relationships that you want to have, and it'll be good. But you have to be able to get out of that negative mindset. A lot of times what happens is people get in that negative mindset and they think, this is who I am. They just think, oh, this is me. This is who I am, and I'm just anxious, I'm just negative, I'm just this person. They identify with the emotions that they're experiencing. That emotion is not necessarily who you are, but what you're experiencing in that moment. You can make yourself, you can not make yourself, you can allow yourself or have yourself to feel different emotions. Actually, you can kind of make yourself. Now, I really believe that, because what actually creates an emotion, right? An emotion comes from a thought. Where does the thought come from? The thought comes from the story that you tell yourself about the situation and what it actually means. So it's the meaning that you're attaching to the thought about what the thing that actually happens. What a lot of times happens is people think the circumstances that we're in creates the thoughts. It's not the circumstance that creates the thoughts. We know that because two people can go through the same exact circumstance. One can come out and say that happened and it was amazing and it happened for me. One person can come out and they're devastated and have a traumatic experience. So one person can experience growth, one person can experience trauma. Now, the person who experiences the growth might have experienced the trauma first, but then they can get out of it too. So that's a good thing if you're experiencing trauma. But all of it comes down to the emotions that you feel is based on the story that you tell yourself about what you're feeling. So anyway, that is just a reminder for you guys to remind yourself of a good, positive story that actually is beneficial to your life. So anything that you're experiencing is think about something of how this could benefit you. How would this be helpful? Even if it's perceived as negative, ask yourself, how could this be perceived as positive? I think about stress. And so when you're in real estate, you're gonna be in a lot of stress. So probably. So anyway, stress is like the #1 killer of people. So like whenever you're stressed out, your heart rate goes up, you have high blood pressure, like different things happen to your body chemically, and it really messes with you. But the coolest part is stress doesn't have to do that, and stress can actually be seen as a good thing. So it depends on your story that you tell yourself about why you're experiencing the stress, because stress is also how you grow. That's why cold plunges work. That's why working out works, because you're literally stressing out your body in order for it to develop. And so I think about stress in that way of like, man, like when I'm going through a very stressful time and God's putting me through this like crazy stress, I'm like, oh man, this is exciting, because now I get to grow. Now I get to expand. Now I'm doing something that's difficult, and God is going to use this for something bigger, better, and I'm actually happy that I'm experiencing it, because it's an opportunity for me to grow and expand who I am. And so that's the way I always think about whenever I'm going through the stress, is I'm grateful for the stress, because I know that's where I'm being stretched, and I believe that God is going to use it for His glory, for His good, and it's going to be for a way bigger purpose than whatever I'm experiencing right now. And I really believe that, and that kind of helps me to go through anything and be grateful for the stress. And so I think that the story that you tell yourself about the stress changes the effects that it has on your body as well. So anyway, that's kind of the mental gymnastics that I go through. Hopefully my thought patterns help your thought patterns, which help you to have a more healthy dialogue with yourself, which is really the most important thing, in my opinion, to experience the emotions and the life that you want to live, because you cannot control all the circumstances, but you can control what happens with your thoughts, which controls your emotions, which controls the quality of the life that you're going to have. Because what is life? Life is the emotions that we experience on a day-to-day basis, right? So that is literally how we perceive life, is based on the emotions that we experience. The emotions that we experience are not based on the circumstances, but the story that we tell ourselves. So really, the good news is it all starts with you, and it all starts with your head, it all starts with your brain, and it all starts with the thoughts that you have. And the good news about that is you can change them. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. I'm freaking like
very helpful,
amped up, buddy.
Very helpful. Full of value right there, buddy.
Dang, buddy, did you follow that thought process? I was all hyped up on caffeine and Jesus.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I'm following that as best as I can while keeping you in the frame, buddy.
Let's go.
That?
That's Evan Balls. It's lit, baby.
Freaking Bentley or Hyundai?
That's a Genesis.
Oh, it's a Genesis. It almost looks like a Bentley, like the logo.
Yeah, that's what everybody says about my car too.
Really?
Yeah. Mine's the poppy of that car. Like mine's like the Evolution. That's the starter. Mine's the Evolution.
The Big Daddy.
Yeah, his is lowered. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Dude, that was fun.
That was